Hey guys, I'm back and we are playing Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. What's up, Rogue? Why you so lucky? Let me know. Uh, yeah, we're back at Modern Warfare 3. We're going to be playing a little bit of multiplayer. Plan is Master of Masteries as we have been doing. And this time, again, still pistols, handgun, action. But this is the last of it as far as base handguns go, which I'm looking forward to completing this. Let's be real. But it is also one of the better handguns in my opinion. Doesn't change the fact that it's handgun, so it's still going to be a rough gameplay experience. It's not going to be easy. But at least I actually prefer this over the other handguns. What we're talking about is the COR-45 handgun. I've been using this as like when I go primary handgun for gameplay in my other streams. This would be like the handgun I take into the game and hope for the best. Again, still it's handgun gameplay. You're still going to be outgunned by regular guns for the most part and all. But this gun has the potential of holding its own a little bit as a primary option as a handgun. But yeah, handgun. So you are still slightly or heavily at a disadvantage in comparison to other people that might be running meta guns and stuff like that. Let's go and see what needs to be done and go from there. So 4 base camos, 4 universal camos to unlock for your other weapon. Deconstructed, get the gun to level 2, get 50 kills with the weapon. Alert glitch, get the gun to level 9, get 50 kills while aiming down sights. Acid drip, get the gun to level 14, get 10 kills while moving. We've already talked about these challenges in the previous handgun, Master of Masteries. Obviously this one, while you're moving, you can do hipfire, ADS, doesn't matter, just be moving around when you get those kills. Red Admiral, get the gun to level 21, and then get 15 kills with the akimbo attachment. So you're going to have to akimbo this build and get some kills with it. All of these are pretty straightforward, nothing terribly complex as far as the task goes. Akimbo 1, obviously you need the akimbo attachment to progress through this, and once you do, you should be able to complete it. And since it is a max or near max rank challenge, you should have that attachment unlocked by then. Complete the base camo challenges and then get 10 kills while, what's the one? Without the enemy damaging you. The Gilded challenge is always the same, right? For all the handguns. Yeah, you'll unlock the Gilded camo for this weapon. Like I said, this gun is actually pretty decent in core mode. It's not a one-shot kill, obviously, or anything like that, but it can hold its own enough. So you should be able to do this challenge in core. I've said this before, though. If you're struggling, you could potentially take this into hardcore. This is probably a very good gun in hardcore, actually. Pistols, because of the movement speed, ADS speed, and stuff like that, and particularly this one, will probably have a reasonably good potential in hardcore. I don't know for a fact that because I haven't done any massive hardcore gameplay with it, but I would wager it is pretty decent if you want to go on that route. Forged, complete the Gilded challenge on this weapon. Have 4 Gilded challenges completed with pistols. Text is wrong on this one. And then get 15 kills. What is it? 15 kills on injured enemies with the COR-45. I don't even understand. Is this saying you need to finish off someone else who's assisted the kills? I honestly don't understand this one. I just presume if you're shooting enemies and teammates are around you and they're damaging them, this should probably count. I mean, if you're shooting an enemy, you're injuring them and then you'll kill them. So I'm guessing injured by teammates is what it means by it, but I'm not 100% certain. I'm guessing if you take this into shipment or something like that, this is bound to get completed reasonably fast, because teammates and all will be firing at the same enemies that you are. because it's such a small map. Priceless. Complete the Forge challenge on this weapon. Have 36 Forge challenges completed. Again, text is wrong on this one. And then get 10 headshot kills with this gun. So yeah, go for the head, get them 10 headshots, and you'll unlock Priceless. Interstellar will unlock once you've completed 36 Priceless Camo Challenges, and you've completed the Mastery Grind on this one. So complete the Mastery Grind on this one, have 36 Priceless Camo Challenges completed, and you'll unlock Interstellar. So yeah, that's the Camo Grind for this gun. That's what you got to do. Oh. Good for you. You're growing up. This is the build that I use for the COR-45. Now, I actually have two builds for this gun. One is using it when I'm going primary handgun action, which is what this is. And then I've made a small adjustment when I'm using this as my secondary handgun, because I do use the core as my secondary. But I'll mention what the difference is, but it's not massive, but it's just a small difference. But yeah, two slightly altered builds. HMRES Mod Suppressor XS. Undetectable by radar, bullet velocity at the cost of recoil control. XRK Pyre 9 Heavy Long Barrel. The heavy long barrel, I guess. Aiming, idle sway, recoil control, bullet velocity and range, gun kick control at the cost of hip fire and tack stance spread, movement speed, aim, walking speed, and sprint to fire speed. Slate reflector. Oh, this one I'm going to actually change. Cronin Mini Pro. I think I didn't change it on this build, but I do prefer this. Precision sight picture. Oh wait, actually, no, we'll keep the Cronin Mini Pro. Precision sight picture. I mean, it doesn't matter. Optic of your choice, honestly. Let's be real. Or no optic if you prefer that too. The granular grip tape. Or granular grip, I guess. Not tape, granular grip. Firing, aim stability, gun kick control, or recoil control at the cost of aiming, idle sway. This is where I make a slight modification for if I was using this as a secondary and not priming the whatever. I usually use the tactical grip cover instead when this is my secondary. Like I have a primary weapon and this is only for a backup as my backup pistol. This gives me that pistol fast draw option, which is useful when you're using it as a secondary. Whereas if you're primary using it, the fast draw isn't really essential or anything like that. So I'll just go with this one. And then the 18 round magazine ammo capacity at the cost of aim down sight speed, or reload quickness, sprint to fire speed, and aim walking speed. So this is the build I use for it as my primary. There are the stats for the gun. Movement speeds at 4.9 m-s. Let's jump in and play some games and hopefully not get dutied on. Like I said, this is a reasonably decent pistol for a primary option, but doesn't change the fact that it is a pistol. So, I mean, the main reason we've been going through all the pistols and all the stuff that I genuinely don't like in the Master of Masteries of late is because this is the order I went with the grind. So when I started the Master of Masteries this year, I mentioned that we will probably go en route with the order that I ground out the weapons. And usually when I do my camo grind, I'll start off with maybe the first gun being something, you know, like in line with what I'd normally like, just to see how the game's playing. But then I'll soon switch over to the guns that I know I'm going to like not enjoy the gameplay. because for me, the sooner I get those completed with the camo grind, the sooner I can get to the stuff that I'm going to actually enjoy. So we have been following the order of like the camo grind that I went with as far as completing weapons. Not in the exact order, but close enough. So that's why snipers, handguns, and all the stuff that I've just not enjoyed, that's why we did the Master of Masteries first with them, because it was in line with the order of completion. Oh, thanks, Call of Duty. Appreciate that. I did stop by your channel. It was interesting. I did like it. You have a unique laugh. Honestly, it's kind of infectious, your enthusiasm and laugh towards... How you been?
Team deathmatch. Enemy comes to us. Eliminate them.
But is it just mainly Warzone stuff? Like, is that what you do? I don't really watch Warzone. Eh. Are you kidding? Should have done a warm-up game or something, honestly. Man. Maybe we'll call this the warm-up game and do a quick restart. Let's see how it goes. We.
Moving here. Got movement. Moving here. Counter UAV exiting the AO.
Dude, what a tricky little shit that one was.
Mission time is half over. Maintain the lead.
I couldn't see him, honestly. He wasn't even showing up when I was aiming near him. Like, I had to get right on him to get the ping, or like his name tag to pop up.
Moving here.
Where did this guy go? He was definitely in there.
Counter UAV is returning to base.
Disregard that. Disregard that.
Wee.
Friendly mosquito deployed.
Ah. No, what am I doing? I just killed myself. No, I didn't. Thank God. I did not mean to throw that grenade, dude.
Friendly mosquito active. Hostiles are on the run. Don't relent. One minute remaining.
Enemy sniper hit.
Friendly mosquito deployed. Friendly UAV on station. The mission is complete. Good work.
Yeah, warmed up in this game. Got a good run after. Oh, you wouldn't have killed me anyway because of my riot shield, sucker. You don't ever chase. You don't bother knifing someone in the back when you see a riot shield unless you can lie down, cut his ankle or something, dude. You're wasting your time. I mean, I might have turned and then he would have got me. Hey, I probably would have turned if I heard him slapping at my back. And the pistol wouldn't have outgunned the knife. Did the audio just glitch out? With the thing good, I didn't really like that sound of the chopper.
Team deathmatch. All operatives, you're clear to engage. Moving here. Changing mag. We've taken the lead. Pushing enemy. Shoot me again. Friendly mosquito deployed.
Eey. Like honestly, these are all maps that I would like. Favela I wouldn't have, but this I would have backed out because I'm doing handgun gameplay.
We've lost the lead.
Dude, can you not? Okay, doesn't matter. They were beating on my teammate like that. How dare you?
Marking enemy. Friendly mosquito active.
That I shouldn't have gone for, that other dude. I had no chance. So I just waited for the other fools to come closer. I mean, I would have had, there's a chance, I guess.
The enemy's taken the lead. Moving here.
Never hurts to take a shot.
Hostile UAV in the area.
Thought that shotgun guy would push the building.
We've taken the lead.
Moving here. Assault rifle here.
We've taken the lead.
The teammates not kill that dude? I mean, I don't know. They really need to do mark assists in this game.
Marking enemy.
Uy.
Moving here.
Ground. Push 'em back. Enemy UAV active.
No. Uy, what am I stuck on? Uy.
Friendly mosquito deployed.
Moving here.
Standing by. UAV ready.
Copy. Counter UAV is blocking. Copy that. UAV online.
Oh, yeah. Harsh, what's up? How you doing? Welcome.
RTB at this time. Counter UAV is bingo fuel. RTB at this time.
Okay, that was.
Friendly UAV online.
No, that was not a good push.
One minute remaining.
No. Like, you're asking why I'd want to be. It's someone who'd like. I guess there's different aspects of consultation that you can do for gaming. When I say I want to be a game consultant, it'd be like a creative consultant or a marketing consultant for gaming in particular. So, say they put out a camo, right? I would look at the camo before they actually release it and be like, okay, can you change things around to do this to make it look a little better or be a little more like interesting, right? It's not just that, but it goes significantly deeper, right? But there are various creative aspects where, like, as a creator, you know, even as a photographer and stuff like that, when I was being a photographer, it's useful to get input from the outside, right? Outside input. So in gaming, like, ideally, you're putting out the final product in the game before it goes out, right? So ideally, I'd like to help, like, creative consultant and stuff like that. Like, a lot of the stuff, like, when I'm talking in my streams and stuff and criticizing something and all, that's usually, like, the form of consultancy I'd like to do. Like, there's a ton of stuff that I've recommended and stuff like that that has actually been implemented into the game that no one else has recommended. That's the form of consultancy that I'd like to do. I also discuss stuff like marketing things and stuff like that. How, like, when they put out something, not necessarily just the game, but, you know, aspects of the game and maybe the new season, or like they're trying to promote something and all. I talk about that as forms of marketing, right? I do a lot of that in my streams. That's why, like, when I'm talking about stuff like that and all that, that's what I'd like to do. Like, consult in that, but more so for the games that I know and play, you know, like COD and all. Like, one thing that I'm, like, particularly proud of, but I never got credit for it, right? Was way back when they introduced the stim shot to Warzone as a movement boost, right? Before, the stim shot in Modern Warfare 2019 was just a mechanic for recovering your health, right? when Cold War came out and all, I actually suggested that they utilize a stim shot in like Modern Warfare 2019 or Warzone to give speed boosts and stuff like that. Because what used to happen is in Cold War, you could use a stim shot, but only when your health was low. But in Modern Warfare 2019, you could use a stim shot even if your health was not low, like you had full health, and it gave you no additional benefits, right? So I actually suggested movement boosts and stuff like that as some form of way of utilizing the stim shot in another way if you're going to allow people to use it when their health is full and it has no other value, right? No one else was suggesting something like that. That actually eventually got implemented into Warzone. I don't know if they took my advice or just great minds think alike kind of thing. But something like that's a form of game consultancy, where you're suggesting some stuff that could be altered to improve it, right? Mechanics, whether it be I'm not playing this map, dude. Even with this pistol, this map's just not gonna play fun. So, like, whether it be mechanics or now again, this is not something I take credit for because they were doing this before, but not to the extent that I would suggest. But also like creating like camos for like grenades or animations, like kill animations for grenades and stuff like that. That would be a form of creative consultancy when you're like suggesting something like that to them, like, why don't you try this and use this form of thing? I mean, they get this stuff for free anyway, like, I guess from content creators, so why would they bother paying for something like that? But ideally, good games and like AAA game companies would have in-game in-house consultants that can help them and talk about things that would be suggested by the community for stuff that they have before it's suggested by the community in public. So ideally, they get some forms of consultants that are telling them and giving them the advice that, yeah, once they put the items in the community, the community will suggest similar stuff, right? Why the fuck did they put me in this again? Why? But yeah, ideally the consultants are giving that same consultancy before even like the items are released to the community, so they don't have that kind of like backlash or something. There's often times like where the game will do something where it's like, yo, why did you do it this way? This is going to be looked poorly on like the community, right? The community is not going to like that. And that just leaves bad optics. You lose player base, like the player base gets reduced because they get mad at you for doing something that you didn't like. For example, like this, right? This event right here, I haven't yet unlocked the camo, but I do have a lot of like consultancy styled criticisms for this that could have been avoided if they had just listened to someone in-house giving them the same consultant like thing. For example, 1.2 million XP is not an appropriate amount for the casual gaming audience for an event. This is almost equivalent to like prestiging one time in the game. That's how much XP there is. This would have been a more appropriate camo reward if it had been a prestige reward. And it could have been like, you know, anyone that hits that prestige would have got this reward. Instead, they did a 2-week event that requires 1.2 million. A lot of the casuals are not going to like meet that requirement. And it's just poor optics. And as an example, even me, who is not a casual, who plays this game regularly, is getting burnt out trying to grind out this event because it's just too much. Someone in-house should have consulted them before they even released this event and said, this is not a good idea, reduce the amount of XP required for this event. This is just not a good idea. It's just going to look poorly on you, like you. There's going to be a lot of people that are going to be salty that they couldn't earn that reward simply because you just made it too grindy. And you will lose player base because of those mistakes. You will make and COD does it often. COD does it a lot, where they release things. It's a form of testers, you know, like testers test the game to make sure the game isn't broken. Consultants consult the game, developers and the release and this, that. So things don't go poorly when it's fully released to people, you know? So yeah, they potentially could get this consultancy like I do for free by just releasing the stuff to the public. But the problem is they're releasing it to the public, they're getting that consultancy for free, but at the same time, the optics for the general public have now looked poorly on this release and this feature that could have been avoided had they had some in-house consultants telling them to avoid that stuff. So a lot of the times consultancy and stuff and all, it is kind of echoing what the community is requesting and wanting and stuff like that, right? But ideally, those consultants are able to tell you those things before it hits the community. So those negative aspects don't bleed into the community, you know? And that sentiment doesn't need to come from the community, so it's completely avoided. So the optics are a lot more positive over the things they do. So yeah, sometimes the consultancy is like, yeah, the community is going to say the same thing. Hopefully those consultants are telling you that same thing before the community is saying it to you. That's the general premise of a game consultant. They're able to consult and tell you things that are problematic before it gets actually released to the community and has issues and looks like poor optics with the community.
We have taken the lead.
Like a good consultant doesn't necessarily need to be a pro at the game, but he does need to have a deeper and more connected understanding for what the community is going to react, how the community is going to react to certain things, right? And how things will or won't look optically in the larger scale once it's out in the open for everybody. So ideally, I would like to do that as a profession, for COD in particular. But I don't know if that is a possibility or not. I feel often COD, they just rely on the community to do this stuff for them. And the weird thing is COD actually doesn't like having negative optics. Fuck, that was a mess. What's up, Slayer? Yeah.
Friendly UAV online.
I'd love to do that for COD. I feel like I'd be very good at it for COD. Or even shooter, like Halo and stuff. I could do it for Halo too. I'd probably be more marketing than super creative with Halo.
Friendly cruise missile deployed.
But yeah, there's often times I'll be talking about like marketing things also. Like, man, the COD does a lot of like okay, even social media in COD, that is a portion of marketing. So I wouldn't necessarily be doing the social media, but I would probably talk about social media aspects with them, like discuss like this or that is or isn't. Usually that character models are like my enemy, man. Like in the enemy team. Wee. Yeah, that would be my like dream job or something. I'd like to do that. But that I do like, even though like my content is me just playing the game and stuff like that, usually it'll be also a lot of me discussing things at the end or in the beginning and stuff like that. Things I like, don't like, and all. So that's usually my form of consultancy that I try to put into the streams and all to showcase it. But like I said, ideally these people are hiring people to do this before it goes public. COD all too often at the moment, and that's often the reason they have heavily negative PR like issues, is because they don't have any issues putting some of this stuff that could have been avoided, honestly, had they just had someone telling them, yo, don't put this.
Friendly mosquito deployed.
Dude, I'm out of ammo, man.
Friendly UAV online.
Like, obviously there's not everything that can be avoided as far as like PR and creative like issues. But I do feel like COD could have avoided a lot more had they just been more in touch with their community. And just, there's a lot of stuff they do that's just so predictable. It's like, dude, why did you do this? You had to know this is not going to look good on you. It's just going to have like, and I guarantee they're losing money on a lot of these issues that they could be saving a shitload more had they had just the right people talking to them.
The enemy is in disarray. Press the advantage.
No, I mean, I'm sure they do it to a certain extent. I'm sure they do. I'm sure they do have things like that. Yeah, I'd like to do that too, man. I'd like to work for them too, big companies. I mean, I wouldn't mind doing it for small companies, but it would still like, I mean, I wouldn't mind doing it for a small company either. I just like to do that. I mean, I do think it helps, even if it's a small company, that you need to be interested in the like topic. So, I mean, I wouldn't be able to do it for like a small company that's doing like a racing game or something like that, or a fighting game. But if it's a small company that's doing a shooter or something, I'd still be down to do that same stuff for them too, man. It doesn't have to be just Activision or something like that. Like, there's been a lot of small company games that I play that I think I could have also had good input had I done something for them or something like that. That'd be cool. I don't know. I'm sure it's a sought after job, so it's probably not something I'd ever like get my hands to be able to do that and all that. I don't know. But yeah, it'd be cool to do a job like that. I think I'd be useful. I think I'd be good at it. I mean, I don't know what I honestly don't know what the pay would be for that kind of stuff. I think a lot of times with consultancy stuff, they do it as like contracted work. I don't know how many game companies actually have full-time consultants that are doing that, right? I think it's a lot of contracted work. So I don't know what a full-time person who's like an in-house consultant would be like for them, right? How much they'd get paid. But for me, it's not like, dude, honestly, it wouldn't even be about the money as much as like, you know, doing something that I feel has value like that, right? Like if I got opportunity like that at a game that I'm interested in, like whether it be COD or a smaller shooter or something like that, where like this is something I'm interested in, right? It wouldn't be so much about what the pay is. It would definitely like just the value of being like part of a game that I'm interested in and I'm contributing in some form of way. I think that'd be valuable in itself. Yeah, but I'd be happy doing it, dude. I don't know. Like I said, low pay or high pay and all, that's not the point, dude. I mean, to a certain point, like, there needs to be a living wage at least, right? If there has to be some form of living wage. If the, like, wage is so low, then it's not even livable, then yeah, probably be too low or something. I don't know how much. But as long as it's like a living wage and reasonably comfortable with what you're getting out of it, dude, I'd be like pretty happy with it, I feel. I honestly don't know. Like, I've never actually thought about how much I'd want to be paid for that stuff. It's just something I'd want to do. Like, also, I think, like, pay in a situation like this, and, oh my god, in a situation like COD and stuff like that, they're not going to hire me as, like, a creative consultant, like, head, right? I'll be, like, more of a underling creative consultant at first or something, right? So I would wager, even if it's COD or something and they were to hire me, the pay would probably start off kind of low because like they wouldn't be paying me like. But I'd wager if you were like really good at it and stuff like that and you've been working that job like on a professional setting for a long time, I'd wager the pay would be very good. Oh my god, why did I do that? I didn't mean to throw that. Yeah, because I mean, honestly, if you are an actual established someone who does this and you're very good at it, you'd probably get the bag because companies are desperate to avoid like negative PR. They are desperate to avoid that stuff. The fuck happened there, man? He was like packet bursting movements. Like he was stuttering when he was jumping around. The value of the job is insane. Like you'd get so much. You'd get so much if you were an established person that was like well known for being very consistently like accurate with your consultancies. You'd probably get paid so much. You'd be very highly sought after. But I mean, those would be like very far and few between, right? I would presume. It's not something.
Friendly UAV online. Active. They're taking Charlie.
No, damn it.
The enemy has captured 2 objectives. Get
Like the really high skill consultants, I would wager like get paid even once you like I presume once you establish yourself, it probably makes no point in actually working for the company directly. It becomes more like valuable and more profitable to just be a like contracted worker, consultant, right? Like it wouldn't make sense to be an in-house consultant if you're as good as you are, right? And you'd probably expect a lot of money for that. I mean, I guess that's with all professions, right? Once you get really good at it, you just go like solo. You don't actually work for a company and you go private practice kind of thing with it. But I mean, I feel like I'm like too old, man. I don't think I'll ever get to even that point. If I'm lucky enough to even just work for a company as a in-house consultant, that would be like a huge deal for me.
incoming. UAV on station.
I mean, it is old, man. I'm telling you. You can feel it. There's no two ways around it. It is old. No fooling yourself about that when you get to that age.
Securing objective Bravo.
LMG mark. Moving here.
Taking Bravo. Enemy UAV active. UAV in the area. Securing objective Bravo. Friendly UAV online. We're taking Bravo. Objective Bravo secure.
Yeah, honestly, I'd be content with the stability of like an in-house thing. I don't have any delusions of being like some millionaire or anything like that doing this. But if I could get like a cool, stable job doing it, I'd be like super thrilled with myself.
Visit this area.
We've secured 2 objectives.
Moving here.
Friendly UAV on station.
Even something like I've criticized the ping system in this game so much. That would have been like in a consultancy kind of thing, I would think.
Back. Standing by. Enemy UAV active.
Copy that. UAV is on station.
Like I said, there's also a lot of other aspects to consultancy that's not just creative and marketing. So,
Station.
I mean, opportunity for a lot of people to do stuff like that.
Objective Bravo. The enemy has captured 2 objectives.
Oh my god. What the fuck was that spawn? No.
Friendly UAV online.
But man, I just feel like two aspects about like Activision that I feel like I'm just shooting myself in the foot even like going for this game.
Want some loot here?
Is one, I don't think they have an actual presence in Asia or India. So expecting to get a job for them would be like unlikely. Oh god. I don't know where my shots are going with that one. EA is actually more possible. EA would be possible because I'm pretty sure they do have offices in like Asia.
Enemy taking Bravo.
And they do have a larger presence in Asia where... But I don't really play a ton of that Battlefield. I do try.
Charlie. Friendly FAE inbound.
A lot of these games are like US based. That's why I feel like I'm sort of unlikely gonna get this job opportunity.
The mission is complete. Good work.
Microsoft, the other small inkling of hope that I might potentially be able to do something like this is Microsoft purchasing Activision. Microsoft 100% has a presence in India, right? So there is potential, but it's unlikely. I don't know. It's just I'd like it, but I don't think it'll ever happen. I don't know. Sort of thing. I doubt it. I'd love for it to happen though, but yeah, unlikely scenario. Possibly. And for something like consultancy and stuff like that, like a consultant, well, I just don't see them like getting someone from India and then bringing them to the US or something unless you've already established yourself, sort of thing, right? Unless you're an established someone doing this thing, it's unlikely they'd pay for the immigration of someone to the headquarters to do that stuff. So more likely than not, if they are doing stuff like that, it's probably like locally, as far as countries go. But that's why I do the YouTube thing. I try to do this stuff to like create that establishment where otherwise I wouldn't be able to, right? So that's kind of like my concept around my YouTube content. It is to like try to establish myself as someone that has the potential of doing this for them. But I mean, I don't know. Don't think that even works either. Yeah. I have recommended, there has been, and not just COD, but other games too, like Rogue Company, Halo, maybe even Battlefield and stuff. Well, I have suggested things that not many, if not anyone else, has been suggesting, and those things have been implemented into the game, which makes me think there's a possibility that someone is listening that has, connection or is connected to the development of some of these games, but also it's possible that multiple people other than me might have suggested something, and I'm just deluding myself into the thoughts that I've suggested anything of value. I shouldn't have started shooting the way I did, but I just got a little nervous. That was actually really stupid of me, and I got away with the kill, dude. And I should have changed my class to a shipping class. But I'm just gonna be bothered, honestly. This is the first map I played. Dude, honestly, it's an awful map, dude, but I hate it. I hate it, but it is very convenient for some challenges and stuff like that. Dad! Dude, these spawns are so horrendous, dude. Honestly, even though that is ideal long-term goal from doing this, I'm just happy doing this anyway. It's not a big deal. Even if that didn't ever happen, I'm just kind of glad I contributed to a game that I enjoy playing. So I'm just happy doing this stuff, but yeah, ideal long-term goal would be something like that. My friend used to shotgun, abuse the shotgun on this map in 2019 when he used to play it. Dragon. He used to love just playing this map all the time. I finally like begged him. I'm like, please just stop playing this, dude. Stop playing this map. Let's play other maps. He refused for so long too. Yeah, ideal long-term goal is that, but also I sort of like the fact that the way I'm doing YouTube and all, it's like sort of a documentation also, right? Of this game and my experience with this game and all. So that's the other aspect of YouTubing that I'm kind of like into. Like, yeah, if I got the full-time game consultancy, I'd probably stop YouTube because that would be like a dream job for me. Like, I wouldn't mind stopping to do that. But the other side of me is like, I don't mind doing this, even though I don't get paid much. I don't get much of anything out of it, honestly. Like, the ad revenue is laughable, right? It's like, dude, this is not, I don't get much of anything out of it. But that whole concept of having that documentation and just, I feel like it's cool. I like it. Like, back when I used to grind out this game and all that, and we'd leave forum posts suggesting things and stuff like that, right? Back, that's how it used to be. A lot of that stuff's been lost to time. Like, one of my big, like, pride and joy suggestions that actually happened, but never got, another one of them, like, I never got credit for it, right? I was just never credited because way back in Ghost Recon days, right? Like, ages back, I suggested the hybrid scope optic before it was ever implemented into any shooter game. I suggested an optic that could be a hybrid reflex sight scope optic that you could toggle between the two. I don't think Ghost Recon, I don't know if Ghost Recon ever implemented it, but yeah, COD and all, and that was a public forum post, like on the Ghost Recon websites, and it was searchable on Google and all. So I'm pretty sure I was the only one suggesting it at the time. So long before hybrid scopes actually existed, even in real life, I don't think it existed before then. I suggested it and it got implemented in the games. And I actually think there have been real attempts to make them in real life too. So actual real military consultancy credit should have gone to me on that, but I never got any credit for it. But yeah, it's something I'm very proud of. Even though I got no credit for it, I'm like, yeah, I suggested that long, long before anyone else did. Publicly. Well, other people would have been able to find it. I think I've been doing too well in this game now. I'm gonna just get slaughtered in this one.
Moving here.
Dude, I sort of want to leave this lobby, dude. I'm not getting anything out of it. I might just back out of this one. It'll do. No. This used to be such a cheeseball corner. You kill someone down there, and then you just wait for them to come back for revenge. Looks like our team spawned here, though. Dude, these guys are such sweats, too, man. Fucking hell, dude.
Hostile mosquito is online.
Oh no, that was bad.
Enemy is gaining ground. Push them back.
Anyway, we had plenty of good games.
Almost out of here. I don't forget.
Hostile bomb drone is active.
No!
Watching your six.
The enemy holds the lead. Clock ticking. Hostile care package deployed. Hostile deployed a mosquito. Hostile outside near your location.
No way! That was so bad, dude. On my part. So bad. Fuck. I should have got both of them. I should have got both of them. That's easy kills. Easy kills, and I messed it up. Fucking pistol, man.
Mission failed. Return to base.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. You know, I'll tell you, I don't cater my content to kids, honestly. Like, oh jeez, I did it really badly. Yeah, I don't cater my content to like kids. That's why I don't care if I do 10-minute or shorts and all. I know if I catered my content around to kids and all, there's the potential of a much larger audience. My content, like, I genuinely just cater it to like adults and people like in the gaming industry and all, like with my whole like consultancy concept as far as content goes. So like, I'm actually not surprised that I don't have much of an audience, because I don't cater it around entertaining kids. I honestly don't even care if kids like my content or not. Like, I do try to make content like where I'm giving advice and tips or something, like how I'm going to tackle a challenge and all. And I know that is helpful to the younger people, right? But it is usually in lieu of me eventually at the end in my outros talking about consultancy related stuff, right? That has no interest to kids. So that's why like often I'll do my intro, and my intro is sort of like summarizing and giving the general concept or whatever the challenge is and stuff like that. I put that right in the beginning, right? Because that's pretty much where the kids will watch, and then they'll tune out. They don't want to watch the rest, right? And then the rest of the content, it's mainly just directed at like game developers and stuff like that, where I'm like, I don't like this, I wish this was different and all that. And that audience, dude, whether they are or aren't even watching or even like acknowledging that they're watching it or something like that, right, is probably very, very limited, right? It's not got a massive audience for that. But that's generally like why I know if I wanted to and I had the energy and all, I'm sure I could maybe cater my content a little more kids friendly and more kids kind of like attuned to them. I just don't care, man. I honestly don't like kids. Personally, I don't like kids. I mean, not that I don't want them to play games or anything, nothing like that. I just don't like dealing with them and all. So I don't cater my content around them. And that is the biggest audience for YouTube, Shorts, TikTok, all that stuff, right? The really big content creators and all, they cater their stuff around to kids. Like, that is their primary audience. It's not adults. There are some content creators that probably have a larger audience of young adults, maybe. But even then, the really, really big ones, probably the bulk of their audience are younger people. So they do need to create content around catering to them.
Charlie, we've taken the lead. LMG marked.
Like, being famous and being a like awesome like streamer, the best streamer in the world, that's not a life goal of mine. That is not a life goal of mine. I do like the idea of documenting. I do like the idea of all that stuff, having this kind of video documentation of the stuff and all. But it's not in main interest. My main interest isn't like, oh, I need to like create the best stream for like a 12-year-old, man. Really care about that. No, I didn't have the shot on that guy, so I thought maybe I could sneak the shot on the like flag.
Get it back. We're losing Charlie. Hostile UAV in the area.
Man, it stuns in this game. Freaking hate that. I mean, I think generally, like, if you actually want to be a content creator and stuff like that, and you want to be big in the content industry and stuff like that, like really big, like that's your goal, you definitely need to be like you need to have like your content that will cater to that younger audience. Even if it's like trolly, like toxic stuff, like that usually shouldn't be like watched by kids, that stuff will be heavily child watched, right? So like these are like really trolly, like, no man, they're too like hardcore for like a child audience. No man, the bulk of those people that are very toxic and stuff like that and have a massive audience, that massive audience is very young. They're not old.
Get them secure. Objective Bravo. Friendly mosquito deployed. Hostile care package.
In fact, arguably the like more toxic and adult like styled content that you're creating, more likely it is children that are actually watching that. That's why you're big if you're doing stuff like that.
Deployed. Friendly airstrike in the AO. We control 2 objectives. We're losing Alpha.
Like serious adult content, probably like has a limited. Ooh, I don't know where that came from. Oh my god, I nearly turned on that fool. I nearly turned on that fool. I had such good shots on him.
Securing objective Charlie. The mission is half complete. Stay sharp. We're taking Bravo. Objective Bravo secure.
One more, dude. Yeah, I mean, I don't think they're actually immature. They're just playing to their audience, man. That's what the audience wants from them. That's just what the audience wants from them. And if they want to keep that bag, you know, keep that audience, they're forced into behaving like that. I just can't put myself to doing that, dude. I just don't have it in me.
We're losing Alpha. We've lost Alpha. We're taking Charlie.
I just can't stew. Like, I mean, it's a form of entertainment, dude, I guess. You know, like, it's not like they're bad people or they're like immature or they're like just greedy or something. No, dude, they're entertainers. That is their job. So.
Taking Alpha. We're losing Charlie. We control Alpha. Objective Charlie is compromised.
Like, entertainers need to be doing that kind of stuff, I guess, right?
We're taking Charlie. Charlie secure. Enemies taking Alpha.
shit, we've already lost. Let's just take
Securing
B.
objective Bravo. We're losing Charlie. Moving here. We control Bravo. The enemy took Charlie. Cancel that. We're taking Alpha. Enemy's taking Bravo. Alpha
Wait, what? But I mean, that's also partially like why I'm glad I didn't start streaming when I was younger. I think you start streaming when you're younger and you have that kind of like attitude and energy, right? To be like kind of toxic and cringy, childish and all that. And then as you get older, you want to grow out of that.
Objective Bravo is compromised.
But you can't because your audience is forcing you to stick to that nonsense.
Friendly remote turret active. Charlie secure.
Glad I started. As an older person, so I can kind of create the content that I'd be comfortable with as an adult.
Enemy securing Charlie. We're taking Bravo. We're losing Charlie. We've secured 2 objectives. UAV standing by. We hold all objectives. Let's keep it this way.
My favorite content creator, streamer-wise, is like Moist Critical.
UAV on station.
I actually like watch him a lot. As far as just like
Securing Bravo.
casual stuff.
We've lost Bravo.
Like I'll watch Moist often. Not all the time or anything like that. I'm not like obsessed or anything, but I do watch all the like. I'm like sub to his YouTube channel. I'll watch his videos whenever I feel like it. I'll jump onto his stream and just like let it play in the background. I find him like he's like a modern day comedian, in my opinion. Like what I used to like get out of like comedians when I was in college and stuff like that, like good comedians, stand up, I get from like Moist, like his streams and all. Like I think definitely his content is like what I see as modern day comedian kind of content. Like oh, he's your favorite too? Yeah, he's a favorite for everybody. I mean, he's huge. Like I'd wager most, if ever, if not a lot, of people either have heard of him or actually are like into his content a lot. I also like PewDiePie, honestly. I actually do like PewDiePie's content a lot. Although I haven't really watched a ton of his streams. Like I don't watch him for his streams. Like I feel like both like Moist and PewDiePie, the reason I'm like so drawn to their content as like, I guess, young adult content, I feel like is like fine to watch them, is because of how grounded they feel. Like their personality seems so grounded. Oh shit, I didn't even. Their personality seems so grounded. Like as an adult, it looks like they had a good upbringing, they have good values and stuff like that. At least that's what they portray. So I'm drawn to that. I'm like, oh yeah, these are like, it feels like they're good people. So I want to hear what their opinion is. I'm interested. Yeah, he's very intelligent too, Moist. He is very intelligent. And witty with his intelligence, right? Like he's very good. Like some comedians and all, like even stand-up comedians, I'll name drop, like Ricky Gervais, right? Very good comedian, very funny. But if you've actually watched his content on the regular, you'll find he's very repetitive, like with his jokes. Like it gets kind of stale if you've watched him too much. Moist and all, like it seems like he's so witty and like on the moment, that even though his jokes have a similar like theme, they're kind of fresh and new at the same time. I like Ricky Gervais too, though. But yeah, if you watch a lot of his content, you'll see that his jokes are sort of like reused concepts heavily. His own reused content, not like he's stealing it all from anybody or anything like that, but it is like very repetitive. For me, it's also that personality that's very drawing. Like both Moist Critical and PewDiePie, like the reason I'm so drawn to them as content creators is because they feel like good examples as human beings. Like, I think people that have like a problem with like PewDiePie or something, like, oh, he's a bad example, they don't know. They haven't been watching him. He's actually got a very good head on him. Like, and he... Like I said, good upbringing kind of thing, right? I feel like that's what it is. Like just genuinely good people. Like sometimes I do feel though, like, man, like being a little bit evil about something. Or like maybe he's a little too good sometimes. Like there's no harm in calling a nerd sometimes, I feel. Not all the time, but when they deserve it and when they're behaving like it to an extreme extent, then they need to be called out on it, man. You don't need to be so nice. But yeah, generally I feel like they just seem like good people, good examples of human beings. Worthy. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? I should let him go, man. Okay. I should let him go. Well, he would have killed me. I turned my back to him, he would have killed me. He wouldn't have hesitated. No, throw that nade. I didn't get it off, huh? Honestly, better people than me, though. I can't even compare to being on that level of, like, freaking goodness. Like, I definitely have my flaws. I know that is an enemy, but I don't want to chase No! I try to be, but I'm not. Like, I'm not full-on good person. I know I've done a lot of bad things in my life. Like, I'm not, like, perfect or anything. Shit. No, I was gonna go execute it. I was like, I get angry and stuff like that. I'll say things that I regret. And I've said things I regret. No, man. There are people who are good at, like, they might think things like that, but they have self-control and all and stuff like that. And I feel there's a certain level of, like, I lose control sometimes that shouldn't happen. Admitting to it, it doesn't excuse sometimes. Admitting or understanding your flaws doesn't excuse it all sometimes. I try, though. I try. But I know, I'm not. I do try, though, sometimes. But yeah, I've done stupid stuff. I've done stupid stuff, too. Well, not only elders, but like, there's a lot of things. There's a lot of things. More than just. But yeah. Usually I try to avoid being cruel or mean. Is the goal in life, I guess. Try to avoid it and don't do it. And when you do it, try to, apologize, and hopefully things can work out beyond that. But anyway, it's fine. I don't think I'm like evil or anything like that. I know it's just mistakes often, or like a slip of tongue that shouldn't have happened or something like that, right? But I mean, it happens to me also, I guess. I try to avoid it, like I said, though. Anyway, that's it for now. COR-45 played with, enjoyed. For the most part, we did pretty well with it. Like I said, out of all the handguns, this is the most viable as a primary potential. You are still using a handgun. There is still effort required and stuff like that. But yeah, I was getting away with a lot with it. And there were a lot of maps that I'd have been too afraid to play, like even SMGs on. They'll be like, dude, man, an SMG would not get away with some of these maps because they're just so like wide open, right? Yet this gun seemed to do okay on that stuff, on those maps and all that. Definitely do recommend this one. I do. As a secondary, I think because of its like just primary potential, it is obviously an excellent secondary also. I do think if you're just very specifically using it as a quick kill, finishing off kill kind of thing, right? You just want to get a quick kill out of it, and you've maybe damaged them, and it is legitimate secondary usage only, then there probably are the other pistols probably are potential viable better options. Like you have a full auto pistol, you have the Renetti that you can throw like a lot of damage fast at someone quick, close, like with the close encounter and stuff like that, right? But just generally because of how like versatile this is as a pistol, beyond its just limited use of finishing off an enemy, that's why I prefer it. I don't want to say it's OP. I don't want to say it's OP because I love using it and I don't want them nerfing it. And they might, man. They might nerf this one. But I hope they don't. Because it is really like the only primary pistol that I am comfortable using. So if they nerf this and then it became completely unviable as a primary potential option, then the handgun gameplay that I do sometimes when I'm checking out a camo or something like that become miserable. But yeah, honestly, when I started also this game and with the longer time to kill and all, I was nervous because after Modern Warfare 2, and using the Deagle as the handgun, and that Deagle in Modern Warfare 2 was like a pocket marksman rifle. It was a beast. It was an actual beast. And I was like, man, longer time to kill, not going to get away with that kind of gameplay. It's going to be back to like struggling with handguns as a primary whenever I'm doing my handgun gameplay. But this is the saving grace, I feel, out of the lot. And very viable, fun to use. And not often, but regularly enough, you will probably have very good potential gameplay with just using this. So yeah, I do recommend, and I did enjoy, and I will enjoy using this as long as hopefully they don't nerf it. I really hope they don't nerf it. That's it for now. Hope you guys enjoyed. Check out my old streams if you haven't already. And yeah, COR-45, I recommend you give it a go because it can be actually kind of beastly, even as just a handgun primary action in certain scenarios and those special matches that aren't ultra sweat based. Take care. Bye. Yeah, awesome handgun. Definitely a favorite of mine, and will probably utilize it as my primary handgun whenever going for the handgun gameplay.